Welcome to Thursday Aspirations, a time, place and space for teachers seeking a brighter future. We thought today we would continue with exploring why Dorothy and I respectively left teaching and what we chose to do and how we went through that process of making that choice. And we're going to start today with Dorothy looking at property, because it's something that anyone could consider as a possibility, but it also illustrates the process that you might follow as you explore what meets your heart's desire and what might build you the sort of future that you really aspire to. Dorothy.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Right, so property. Why did I choose property as my way of transitioning from teaching to leading a new life? That's a very interesting question, Mary. For me, property actually it's actually very easy to start a property investing journey. You can do it very successfully, like I've done it, alongside of the teaching. You can start by working in it literally a couple of hours a week, as little as that. To do property, to invest in property, to run it as a business, you do need to acquire some knowledge. Knowledge training is absolutely essential. But it doesn't require any going to the college, or doesn't require to go to school. You can actually acquire the knowledge in a little chunks, in 15 minutes, half an hour, which you snap here or there, late at night, very early in the morning. So it's quite easy to educate yourself. And there is loads of free training available, very easily accessible, YouTubes, discussion groups, networking events, and so on. So that was very easy for me, because I wasn't sure initially if property is the right way forward for me. Also, it's very easy to once I decided on a property, it was relatively easy to draw on some capital from drawing equity from my own house. A lot of us are in the same situations. We do have access to that funding, our first property deal, from equity available in our own house. Also, it is possible to work with angel investors, people who do believe in you and who are happy to help you to get you started by helping you by lending you some money to get you started on this property journey. Now, but the question is, how do you do it? Because it does require, like anything in life, it does require a lot of sacrifices. So I've already mentioned working early in the morning, late at night. That is a sacrifice. I had to sacrifice my weekends. I had to sacrifice contacts with my friends. On loads of occasions, I had to refuse going to parties, to meeting with friends, and so on, to the point where some people felt that I am dumping them as friends, which obviously wasn't the case. But on the positive side is that the positive side to all that is that you are not doing it forever. That is not forever. It's just literally initially, as you are finding your way around property and seeing if this is what you want to do. Now, obviously, once you discover that property is what you want to do, it is possible to do it on a part-time basis. Teaching lends itself to be teaching is a profession which is possible to do on a part-time basis. So that's what I've done. I started working part-time, so I was able to increase my working hours to deal with property. And so that's a good thing. But also, property investing in property can be done anywhere in the UK. So you are not necessarily tied up to the place where you live. You can choose the area which is right, which you are happy with, where you would be investing. You can choose the area where the price range for the properties you'll be investing in is right for you. So it's very, very flexible. Now, obviously, I didn't choose property because it's something which I did enjoy. I definitely enjoyed working with property. How did I find out about it? Well, I've got my own family home, which I bought as a relatively wrecked property, and I did it up, and I definitely enjoyed that process. So there was already part of me feeling, yeah, I probably will enjoy that journey. And I proved it to myself that I did love that creative process of turning a really ugly, wrecked property in a beautiful home for somebody else. And that feeling of creating homes for people who really need it, people who are unable to do it themselves, people who are maybe in difficult circumstances in life, that is a wonderful feeling. And it does sort of match that wonderful feeling when you teach somebody in a classroom and you see that transition from a very unsure student flourishing by the end of the year into a high achieving student achieving good results. So you can compare that, I suppose. So if somebody was asking me now, would I choose the property again, knowing everything I know today? Would I go for it again? Yes, absolutely, I would. So I've chosen the right path. Over to you, Mary.
Dorothy, thank you so much. That was really interesting. And although I know some of the elements of that journey, I've not followed all of it, but I can say to those viewing that I have been to one of your houses up in the far, far north when it was the sort of wreck you were describing. And to see it now would be difficult to believe, just the degree of transformation and the satisfaction. But don't rush off, because Dorothy has got a tip in relationship to her journey and her work with property. Dorothy.
Right, so what I would advise is look at property at your research stage, when you are researching getting out of teaching, because it just may be for you, just like it is for me. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, and see you next week.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.